All right, we've been joined by Northwestern. And, Coach, we will start with an opening statement from you, and then we'll go to questions for the student athletes. So, Coach?
Yeah, just really, really proud of our guys, man. Just obviously everyone knows, the kind of year we've been through. Sorry with my breath. We had to walk a mile to get up here. I'm getting old. I'm getting out of shape. But our guys are just a tough group of guys. They've had a lot thrown at them. Even last night, they put us in a hotel. The rooms were 1,000 degrees. There was no AC in the hotel. And our guys' rooms were 85 degrees. And that's where the league puts you. So every way they turn, they're trying to get us. And our guys just are a resilient bunch. And they just fought, and they played with a toughness and a chip on their shoulder. And it was a really good win because we knew Minnesota, they're a tough-minded team. They're a tough-minded team, and that's why they got here. Ben's had a hell of a year with those guys. And to me, it was a real even matchup because you had Garcia and Nick, two of the top scorers, and then just two kind of gritty, tough teams. And our guys just kind of made enough plays. We had that little spurt in the second half where we got some separation. And, obviously we got to make some free throws down the stretch. But just happy to live to see another day and keep playing, and super proud of these guys. Their leadership has been awesome the last month.
Thanks, Coach. Now questions for the student athletes. Please raise your hand, and we'll get a mic to you. Right here. And please state your name and affiliation.
Hi, Audrey Pachuta from the Daily Northwestern. Ty, yesterday you talked a little bit about how you were looking for more open looks, playing more aggressively. The last game, I know Nick had 29 points and no one else was in double-digit scoring. What do you think was working for you and for KJ and Jordan to kind of have bigger outputs today?
Yeah, I think when you have the best player in the league on your team, he has so much attention drawn to him every night. And so just finding ways to play off him and taking our open shots and just being confident when they send the house at Nick.
Question right here in the front.
Bat Shelton, Wildcat Report for Nick. Ty just called you the best player in the league. You didn't. You were named to the second All Big Ten team when those results came out. Did not making the first team kind of fuel the fire for you today?
Question for Nick.
I don't really think so. Obviously, I'm not super into comparison. I'm more into competition and things of that nature. I'm not motivated by that at all. What I'm motivated by is the guys that are with me every single day, that have faith in me, that actually get to see the work that's put into it. I take my time and give all my time and emotion to those guys, as opposed to people that obviously just see games and whatever and have their opinions. But yeah, I'm definitely just grateful to come out here and show people that we are a serious team, and I think we've shown that every single game. We've been competing, even with guys going down. So I definitely think, I don't think necessarily it fueled me today. It's more these guys.
Question right here, Mike.
Michael Presti, NCAA.com. This is for both players. How did you handle 85 degrees in the hotel room? You sleep with the windows open, or how'd that
I just slept on top of the covers. No, couldn't get under the covers. It was hot all night. I was tossing and turning, but at the end of the day, you just got to play through stuff. And I just credit our team and our guys for just being tough.
That was Ty. Or Nick?
Yeah, I remember last night, when it was happening, we were kind of just joking around, oh, this is gritty. Me and Jello had a bucket of ice, and we were just grabbing the ice and rubbing it on ourselves all night, to try to stay cool. So, yeah, honestly, I'm not gonna say I'm happy it happened, but we came out here, and we showed them. So
We're used to being treated like that by this league.
Right here in front.
Scott Docterman for The Athletic, and that was along the same lines, is how much rest did you guys have, and how did it impact what you were able to do? Because at this time of year, you guys have played a long season. You're trying to recover as much as you can each and every day. How were you able to, how much sleep did you get, and did everything get fixed in the morning, or are you still working through it, and have you changed hotels?
We'll start with Nick.
It was super hot this morning. I don't think they've changed anything. But, yeah, we're just going to go back there and, sleep in 80 degrees again.
Yeah, they'll put us in one that's hotter if we leave it up to the league.
Yeah.
Ty?
Yeah, I just, also I credit our coaches for, making sure we are right on rest and right on nutrition and all that stuff. They do a good job of not putting too much on our plates at practice just because we're short on numbers. So that does a good job on our bodies of keeping us fresh. But, hopefully it's not as hot, but it probably will be.
It's all good.
Right here in front.
Gavin Dorsey, Northwestern Wildcats on SI. This is for both of the players. Jordan Clayton was really aggressive off the dribble tonight. How did his aggressiveness, his tenacity help open up the offense for you guys?
Ty, we'll start with you.
I just feel like, Jordan is a good player. I mean, he's in this league for a reason, and, just we count on him to be aggressive. And when he's aggressive and he's taking his open looks, it creates more for everybody else, and it just really spreads the floor for everybody.
Nick?
Yeah, I definitely think his aggressiveness helped open things up. Even for me, a lot of times when he's coming downhill, he's super fast, so guys really have to help over, and it got me some open looks. So, yeah, we're going to need him to continue to be aggressive throughout the remainder of the tournament.
Right here in front.
Charlie Spungen, Northwestern Athletics. Nick, this is your second 25-plus point game against Minnesota. What do you think it is about this matchup against them that's advantageous for you?
Yeah, credit to the coaches again. They do a great job with game plan and see things, see openings for me and just put me in great spots. Sometimes you just have it going, sometimes you don't. You kind of don't necessarily get to pick your nights where you're shooting it well from the field. But yeah, I'm just happy that obviously we could come out here and get the win, and I think it's a credit to my teammates as well who are getting me the ball in the right spots.
Next, right here. Yeah.
Elliot Brooks-Rubin, inside NU. For Ty, you had a tough first half shooting the ball, just 1 for 7 from the field. How do you maintain confidence to come back out and hit 3 threes in the second half?
I think, part of it is getting a feel for the gym, getting a feel for the arena. It's different, just the atmosphere, and then, just coming out and staying aggressive in the second half. My coaches, my teammates, they believe in me to knock down shots, so just never losing confidence and just taking the right ones when they're there.
Right here in front.
Eli Cronenberg, the Daily Northwestern. Nick, what was going through your head when you were missing some of those free throws in the last couple minutes?
Yeah, I obviously wasn't happy with myself, but when you shoot that as many free throws as I do, sometimes you just miss them. Obviously, I don't have a gym to go work on it, but if I was back home,
rest.
Yeah, I'd work on it, as much as I could, but. Obviously disappointing, but as I said multiple times, it's really about the win. It's really about these guys.
We're going to take a couple more for the student athletes right here.
Colin Kane from Chicago Tribune. For either of you guys, you had the 10-0 surge kind of at the start of the second half. What allowed you guys to kind of pull away there?
Ty?
I just think that coming out, staying aggressive on the defensive end was what really helped us pull away. We came out and just got multiple stops in a row, and then by doing that, we were able to run out and get into good offense. Coach was calling great plays for us to get open and get easy shots. So when we play defense like that, we're a really tough team.
Right here.
Ethan Siegel, inside NU. Despite having great regular seasons each of the past 2 years, you guys weren't able to win a Big Ten tournament game in either of the past 2 seasons. So what does it mean to be able to pick up this win and win that tournament game? Nick, your first ever win in a Big Ten tournament situation.
Nick?
Yeah, it means a lot. It's sort of a different feeling here because, you're playing the next day. So at this point, I feel like me and Ty are honestly locked in on the next game. I think a lot of the guys down there are just getting ready for the next game and try to find ways to fuel our bodies and rest up. So, yeah, but it's a great feeling.
Last question for the student athletes right here.
Charlie Spungen, Northwestern Athletics. For both of you guys, early 10-0 run in the second half kind of opened up the game for you guys and ultimately held on the entire way. What was the message at halftime by the coaches that got you guys to that?
I think it was just being physical on the defensive end to start the second half. I think that was the main thing is to not let up. I mean, they went on a little run at the end of the first half to cut it down to 3. And so then I just think, just the message in the locker room was just stay very physical and aggressive on defense and get stops.
Nick and Ty, thank you. You're dismissed.
Thanks, guys. You're dismissed.
Yeah, you guys can go.
You're dismissed.
All right. Questions for Coach right here. Thanks, guys.
Hey, Chris. 2 things.
Yes.
One is I want to see what you have to say about Nick and the first team versus second team thing. And then you don't seem pleased with the Big Ten. Can you elaborate at all? I mean, what are you getting at? It's more than a hotel looks like.
No, you guys watch the games. I don't have to get anything. You guys are the ones tweeting out how we're being officiated and how we're being treated. So I don't have to say anything. You guys watch the same games I do, so I'm not going to get into any of that stuff. Nick is one of the best players in the conference. It's hard. It was incredibly hard even for me when you have an 18-team league. it's really hard to pick 5 guys when you have 18 great programs, and it's really difficult. And honestly, I think if coaches had to do it over again, the way we had to get our votes in by Sunday afternoon, I think a lot of votes were already in before the games were completed on Sunday, which at that point, if you didn't watch all the Sunday games, Nick wasn't the leading scorer in the conference. We didn't know who was in the tournament and who wasn't. So, I think I'll give coaches a break on that because it is hard and it's very difficult to vote. And so, but if you watch that game out there, if you can tell me there's 5 more impactful players in this conference, I'd be happy to talk about that with you. And that's no slight on any other guys. But you look out there, Nick is playing with unproven players, some guys who didn't play the first 20 games of the season, young players, guys trying to find themselves. He's seeing double and triple teams every time he touches the ball. And his competitive will has just been amazing. And he's played great. And I'm just so proud to be on his team because honestly, I'm riding his wave. And it's fun as a coach when you can ride a great player's wave and just kind of let him, let his heart lead the way. And that's what's happened with this team. Nick Martinelli's heart, we were sitting at 4-11 in the league. We had a really hard-fought loss to Nebraska where we blew a 20-point lead at home with 5 games to go, with 2 guys down, 2 of our very best players. And Nick Martinelli just said, we are going to have a winning season. We are going to have a winning season. Because for him, he's never had a losing season at Northwestern. He's won 22 games his first 2 years, and he said, we are going to have a winning season. And now from that point on, we've won 5 ball games. And so, that's a credit to him and then Ty and Matt as well, as older guys, as guys that have won a lot in our program. But, man, I couldn't be prouder of the group and the guys and the resilience and the toughness. And it's really hard to win in this league against who you're playing against and the level of coaches. And this was a really good win for us today.
Right here.
LC Norton, Big Ten powerhouse. Obviously, the focus is on the here and now, but the Indiana job is set to open, and your name has appeared on a few hot boards, a few coaching lists. Would you care to comment on that?
No, I mean, I'm coaching my team. I'm not. People, my family and all that might be on social media, but I'm not one of these guys that's looking at any of that stuff. And I'm locked in, man. You guys know I'm. If you don't see me over there coaching, I mean, I'm locked in on my team, and that's where it is right now. And I'm getting ready to play one of the best teams in the country tomorrow. So I better put my full focus on that.
Chris over here, Steve Sturming, Excel Sports.
Hey, Steve.
Nice seeing you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Talk a little bit about Mullins and Wyndham.
Yeah.
Those guys.
And Clayton too.
And
I think
Clayton were your guts today.
Yeah, I thought all 3 of those guys. I mean, that's kind of what I'm getting at. I mean, you talk about a guy like Justin Mullins. He's been in and out of our rotation the first 20 games, and then all of a sudden you lose 2 perimeter guys, and he becomes a starter. And Clayton was redshirting. And he, what a story, right? Guy steps forward, he volunteers, puts his hand up, says, my team needs me after sitting for 20 games. And for him to come out today on the biggest stage, and to get 11 points and play great defense and take care of the ball and be poised. I mean, all 3 of those guys were big, and I thought we did a good job. We didn't turn the ball over. They trying to press us late in the game. The free throws were the thing, but it wasn't because we were turning it over. We were doing a good job, and then we weren't making the free throws, at the end of the day, and that's what we got to do better. But, man, all 3 of those guys are doing a great job. Everybody knows the attention that's on Nick, and everyone's, kind of found their rhythm about how they can play off of him and where to get to spots and how to be opportunistic offensively, but then play great defense and be tough-minded, hard-nosed players, and all 3 of those guys did that as well.
We're going to go here and then to you.
Coach Elliot Brooks-Rubin, inside NU. First game against Minnesota, you went really big. Luke Hunger played alongside your centers for a lot of minutes, and today you went really small with Barry, Clayton, and Wyndham on the floor at the same time for most of the second half. Why the stylistic change?
Yeah, I just felt we needed the ball handling. Part of it too is Jordan was playing so well. I didn't want, and then Justin got in foul trouble. So we kind of went to a smaller backcourt there, but a lot of it, they were trying to extend their pressure, and I wanted my 2 best ball handlers in the game, and I felt those guys were playing well. Ideally, we want to be in a situation, we do a lot of switching, 1 through 4, and, the first game, Nick had gotten foul trouble, and Luke came in and did a really nice job, in that first half at Minnesota. But tonight, we were able to keep Nick on the floor. I mean, obviously, he's a warrior. I got him a couple minutes, I think, rest. I didn't look at it, maybe one. But so if he's going to be on the floor, then that allows us to kind of stay in our scheme and kind of switch things. And fortunately, our guards were getting in there. To your point, if you're going to play like that, you better rebound. And I thought our guys really got down there and really rebounded the ball well.
Right here.
Coach Audrey Pachuta, the Daily Northwestern. Looking ahead to that matchup tomorrow, the last time you guys played Wisconsin, it was that first game after you shut Brooks down.
Yeah.
Just what have you learned in the 11 games since that you're bringing back into that matchup tomorrow?
Yeah, I think we've gotten better. Jalen played in that game, and he was fantastic. So I'm going to get sad watching the film tonight of that game because he was big time. I remember him having a huge game. That was, I think, his second to last game. We were really emotional that day, and I thought we played really hard. And then the second half, they wore us down. I unfortunately, in life, I have really good recall for basketball. I don't have good recall for other stuff. My wife would agree with you. I can't remember birthdays and taking the trash out and all that, but I can remember every game I've coached and played. And in that one, we gave up over 50 points in the second half. And, they did a really good job. Obviously, Tanjay really hurt us, but also Carter Gilmore was huge in that game. And that's the beauty of Wisconsin's team. They have so many guys who can step up. You have great players across the board, and they're a really veteran team and super well coached. I mean, Greg does a great job, so you better be locked in, ready to go, or they're going to expose you on some things. So we got to get some rest. We'll watch some film, obviously get a little bit of a walkthrough, and then hopefully be ready to fight tomorrow afternoon.
We got time for two more right here and right here. Go ahead.
Hey, Coach, Matt Shelton from Northwestern Rivals. Two questions about Nick. First of all, he scored 28 plus 3 times in the last 5 games. How special has it been to see him make that scoring effort while there's so much defensive focus on him?
Yeah.
And then also, normally he's a pretty solid free throw shooter. A little tougher night.
Yeah.
Just kind of anecdotally, have you ever asked him to stop hopping on his free throws?
Yeah, you got to be careful. My guy, you guys know. Pat Goss, who's my right-hand man out there who runs our golf department. I'm a big golfer, and so much of sports is mental. And so if you start screwing with a guy's mental, like in golf, he and I were talking about one of their players where somebody said something to him about that as well with their golf swing. Like, hey, why do you move your foot like that? Or why do you do that? And the guy lost his game for like 2 months. He couldn't break 80, a plus handicap player. So you got to be real careful with free throw shooting. Free throw shooting it can become mental. You got to be instinctive. Now is not the time to change it. Now, as we get to the off season and we maybe, you have a whole off season to really practice another way, he's comfortable with that. And now is not the time to get in his head about it. He just needs to be confident and go up there. And there's been plenty of games he shot it great. So I don't want to make a big deal of it. It's just one of those games tonight. He shot it poorly from the free throw line.
Last question for Coach right here.
Scott Docterman with The Athletic.
Hey, Scott.
Hey, Chris. I just wanted to ask you about sometimes with hotel issues, people can get really frustrated, especially parents or whatever. In your case, what did you try to do? I mean, what did you try to ask the hotel about? Did you report it to the Big Ten?
We did all those things. I mean, we have my AD is big time. He's here. Mark, we reported right away. I guess it's an issue they've been having. That's what I'm frustrated about. It wasn't like it just sprung on. They said they've had this issue for the past 10 days at that hotel. So that's what made me frustrated. And you just hate it for the guys. I mean, I have seniors that they're playing for their lives, and they come down and they said, "Man, Coach, I have to have an ice bucket next to my bed. It's steaming hot." I mean, even this morning after we did our walkthrough, our guys had to sit in the lobby or sit in our team room. They couldn't even go to their rooms because you guys know the worst thing you want to do before a game is sit in a sauna for 2 hours. I mean, you guys know how that makes you feel. So I'm frustrated about it. I don't know what can be done. That's just me being a coach and wanting the best for my guys. I got Ty Berry. The next time he loses, his career's over. So I want to give him every opportunity with rest and hydration and all those things. So we'll address it. We'll figure it out. Hopefully we can get those guys. We're going to need a better night's sleep. So we'll figure things out. And if it doesn't, then we'll be ready to play. I mean, our guys are resilient, man. Like, look, there's been a lot of stuff happen to this team on and off the floor. And they just keep showing up and fighting. So if they got to sleep in 85-degree weather and that's what the league wants us to do, then we'll figure it out and we'll come back tomorrow and fight and do our best against Wisconsin.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you, guys.